Hey, Mr. Cox, Podcast 28 Dad Stories. I wanted to follow up, and I can't remember if I've talked about this before or not in any of the podcast videos. Usually I keep track of that, but it kind of seems like I did, kind of didn't, so I'll try to make this one brief. But yeah, um, the last, yeah. Anyway, um, sledding. We took a bunch of kids from youth group, um, several adult leaders, in fact, two adult leaders. Yeah, we took kids to a park sledding in the winter, and there's a place where there's I can't believe I can't think of the name of this. There's a track where people put these cars together and they soapbox derby, sorry, track, and it's a public park, but people don't like really sled down the track, but there's a big hill there because of the track, and it gets slick in the winter with the snow, and people slide down it, and they're all lined up to go down it. And so we did that for a little bit, and then there were some kids on the stand-up boards that you like stand have handles, you stand up, go down. We just had several sleds, and so we took several cars. We're out there doing that, and then we're like, when some of the kids are like, "This is boring." We know this really special place that you can really go, and it's really fun to sled there. So both of us as adult leaders should have known better. They said, "Okay, we'll show you where you're at, and there's this place you park, and then you walk, and you had to walk through this place and climb over this fence." Now this is still in the city, but it's like not far from a river, and because the river there's ravines and things, but right there's the river's not there when we're going to slid into the river. You got to be careful about that. And so they took this place, and this area is not just snowy, it's been like ice down. I don't know if people took a hose and water into it, but it's ice. So it's going down. And they're like, they said to me, "Why don't you go first?" So I had the sled, and I jumped on it. They showed me where to go, and I'm like, "This is going fast," because it's ice. And I'm like, I'm all into the speed. It's cool. It's gonna be real cool. And this one kid, um, he was a teenager, but he's just not real big. If he'd been big, it probably would kill me. But he's pretty small, and he jumped on me to ride my back down. He didn't tell me he was going to do that. I would have been like, "Nah, I don't want to listen to them." He jumped on, so we're going really fast, and I'm looking down in front of me, and I realized there's a ramp there. Okay, it's all iced over, so I didn't see it from the top because it's all like that milky white color when the snow has been turned to ice. And somebody had built a ramp. I know it's not big. It's maybe I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 feet wide, and then it's probably at another 2 or 3 foot high. It comes up like that, and it's iced over. I'm like, "Oh crud!" And I've got this kid on my back riding me down, making go really fast for the extra weight. He's leaning forward. It's going. We're like, it's like cool, but it's like, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen. We hit this ramp, so we hit this ramp. We go airborne. This kid, because he's a lot lighter than me. I'm sticking close to the board. I come up off the board, but I'm holding on. He goes way up in the air, and he comes down, falls on the back of my head, drives as after we come down that ramp, boom, drives my face down. He wasn't trying to do that. He was just going to take a fun ride. Drives my head and my face, my nose, right into the ice. It's hard ice, and we're going fast. I thought for sure my nose was broke. I stood up, and I couldn't feel, like everything was numb, like up here to the shoulders and then back. I'm like this, and these are the kind of people they meant well, but I looked at the other adult leader. I feel like I'm about to pass out or something, and I can feel blood running to my face, and she like looking at me and just starts laughing, and I'm like, then she realizes I'm like pretty hurt. She's like, "Well, we better head back to the car. I can't talk very well because there's blood running out, and it's disgusting." And so it ruined the rest of that sledding event. But I'm sure they all had a good enjoyment out of that, seeing me almost kill myself on it. And the one kid got to ride on my back all the way down and go airborne, but that blew it for everybody else. So we had to. I'm like, yeah, I better get back to the car because I'm not sure that I'm going to stay conscious. And so we walked back to the car, and I think I had my sister driving me back and went to their house because it wasn't that far from their house either. It's closer than this other rollerblade accident, but we get back and I had to go in there, and they then took the kids to youth service, and my sister and I stayed there because I was not in good shape at all, and I can't remember if we iced it down or what, but it was terrible. My nose was all swollen up, and the next day I went to the doctor, or a couple days later, I think it was the next day. Um, I had a doctor look at it and check it out, and they said it wasn't broken, but boy, it was inflamed. So I was glad I didn't have to have surgery, but that was, I growing up, my parents used to take us sledding and all kinds of stuff. We find these sledding places. Been up to Pokagon State Park with a different youth group when I was a youth. That's really fun too. There's a toboggan sled that you can run on. It's on tracks, and then there's people also take little sleds and go on the hills around there. So I've been all around sleds and all that, but I just didn't know that ramp was there, or the kid was going to jump on my back and land on my head, or wouldn't have done it. But looking back, it's funny. But I mean, it could have paralyzed me or killed me or terribly deformed me. And the kid could have gotten hurt. I mean, he wasn't way up in the air, but he was a real daredevil too. He would always do stuff like that. So I should know better, like I said. But that's my big accident on sleds. Like I said, I've had a lot of other small accidents, wiping out, doing stupid crap on sleds. But that was the big one. So I'll catch you in another video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like buttons if you like it and want to subscribe. Mr. Cox out.